RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9, Episode 2, and we have a special guest. Who is it? Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Love Shack, baby. I'll sing it.
Thank you,
This
Jay
is our
Ellis.
music.
Acoustic version.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode.
There it
is. AfterBuzz TV, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9, Episode 2. This is our 3. That's why I get confused. I'm your host, Kenny Harrison. You can find me at Kenny C. Harrison on Instagram and Twitter. I'm talking really fast. But next to me is...
1, 2, 3, Jackie B on all platforms.
Next to Jackie.
LoRayne Love, LoRayne Love.
Next to LoRayne Love.
I'm bitchin'. Great hair. I love to stare. Hey
I'm
guys.
still big red.
Oh my god, that's so good. Hey guys, it's Jay Ellis, and I'm actually on RuPaul's Drag Race Recap this week with Joe Batanz and Taylor the Latte Boy, so find that on iTunes, and then Instagram, don't_be_jealous, and Twitter, still_jealous.
Tonight we have a special guest on our couch.
So
Laganja
excited.
Estranja.
Welcome.
Laganja's here!
Say hello.
Hello.
How are
Thank
you?
you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I'm excited. I'm already buzzing.
Yeah. So,
She's
make
the
your
only one-
comments.
She's very brave enough to come join us. I love
Well.
that. It's hard to get them to come.
Brave
that's
enough
great.
or baked enough? I
Both.
don't know.
Okay, both.
We accept both.
So if you're watching us on the live feed on YouTube, thank you for joining us. If you're downloading us on Twitter, why would you download us on Twitter?
No. And
If you
iTunes.
download us, I have
iTunes.
some iTunes shout outs.
for it.
John Saxon said best RuPaul's recap show.
Yes.
Gail Beanell, only heard one episode so far, but I love it. Hey,
Yes,
I'll take it.
Cool.
That was the day I was gone. But go ahead.
And Lauren Javi, top toot is Jay's nipples.
Oh.
But it was a 5-star review.
They're not out
Wasn't
tonight.
Jay supposed to do a show topless?
He said if
He
Laganja
did.
came, he would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Let's get it
I
out.
remember
I
that.
love that.
Finale. We'll save it for the
Oh, finale. You heard it.
No.
Okay, there
Okay,
you go.
I heard it too.
Any more shout outs? Jay?
Not as
Mark?
of right now.
Okay.
To everybody who does love me, because I know that's very few of us.
I'm watching the chat roll, so if you have any questions for Laganja,
Yes.
if I catch it, I'll shout them out to her. Is that okay?
I love that.
Okay. I have
Ask
a question.
away.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay, go
How
for it.
has it been since season 6? Since rapping.
Well, that was
and,
ages ago, girl.
I
So
know,
lots of
I
things
know.
have happened.
but what's been going on since
I
then?
mean, I've been traveling the world. I have an international dance school that I, teach dance school at and travel with, which is super cool. I've had a doggy clothing line. I've made music. I mean, you name it, I've got to do it because of RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm
Well,
very thankful for that.
Piggybacking on that, I want to ask, what advice would you give, having been a veteran of Drag Race?
That's an
What
excellent
advice
question.
would you give to any future queens who want to audition or who are on the show right now?
Sure, and I've definitely been getting that a lot right now with auditions coming up for season 10. And I tell all the girls the same thing, which is just keep your videos simple. They don't need to see a lot of editing, a lot of tricks. It's really about your personality and you, and I think a lot of times queens overdo it with, their editing or any like special effects, and it's like really the best videos are the ones that are just in front of a white wall where you just talk.
Yeah.
Personality.
Yeah, it's all about
Now-
personality.
What advice would you give to a queen who, again, is on the show? Like, let's say any special advice for like how to deal with a challenge or how to deal with sewing challenges.
Well, I think y'all saw how well I did on season 6, so I'm not for sure if I should be the one to give out advice about what you should do when you're on the show. But what I will say is to all the competitors on the show, well, first off, it's already happened. So again, my advice here is just like, it doesn't really matter. But I think you just have to try to be yourself. And, that's something I definitely feel like I stuck to. In season 6, I was true to who I was at 24 years old, which was a showboat, loud, tongue-popping, dramatic diva, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, if I were to do the show now, it'd be very different. I'm 28, lots of things have changed, I've matured, I'm sober. There's lots of things.
Yeah.
So I just think being true to who you are in that moment is the best thing you can do, because you're going to change. Like I said, the show doesn't come out until another year later.
Right.
So
Right.
just be true to the moment.
Do you
and
have any
fun.
regrets?
I don't have regrets in life. I believe
okay.
everything happens for a reason. And, if I didn't have the tumultuous time I had on that show, I wouldn't be who I am today. So
Yeah.
I believe everything happens for a reason, and I don't regret anything at all.
Well, I know that we mentioned, because this season, there are a lot of age gaps.
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
think, and what you just
And
said.
I had that on my season.
And I think what you just said speaks a lot about not even age, but maturity. And I think
Yes.
And I'll be honest, like I ripped you on season 6 when we did our after show because of the fact that I felt you were immature and not. I think your aesthetic on the show, your drag aesthetic was great. I've seen you live. Sure. I think you're a great performer. It was just getting over the attitude, and we see it with one of the contestants in this season that I'm probably gonna rip again later. That maturity level, and I can see now that you've grown and you've matured, and and probably having this experience.
Well, and for every rip that you had, I had a bong rip. So really, I was the true winner in the end because I got higher than you.
That is what I want to ask about, because I know that you're a cannabis activist.
Absolutely.
And we just made weed legal here in Los Angeles.
We did, although laws don't really go into effect until 2018.
Right. So. And there are a lot of stipulations.
Right.
A lot of stipulations, a lot of things that pass with the law, like lots of laws that are not very, great. But overall, I'm excited for cannabis. I think we're on a new wave. I'm actually about to start hosting my own medicated dance school, which is going to be really fun. We're doing one in Long Beach, one in downtown. So I'm excited. I think cannabis is an incredible form of medicine that's really helped me, and I think it can help a lot of other people. So I'm glad it's finally getting to be a more accepted thing, because for a very long time, even right after I was off the show, people looked at me as like, oh, you're such a pothead, it's such a bad thing, when it's like, well, bitch, you're an alcoholic and you're a pill popper. So I don't know why we're
Did he point at you and me when he
I tried to direct over
She acts like she knows me like that. But I was going to ask if I could. Since you've been traveling and doing a lot, where's the one place that you went to that you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I've gotten here.
Well, most recently, I mean, there's been many places. I think anytime I'm traveling and I'm fucking being a sissy across the world, are you kidding? Yeah, I'm lucky. But the most amazing thing that happened to me recently was Machu Picchu. I got to go to Peru. It was the first RuPaul's Drag Race queen to ever go, which was obviously a huge honor. And I got to death drop on Machu Picchu, which was just like, that's such an amazing thing.
That's so awesome.
Speaking of which,
who knew drag would take me there?
I've got a lot of requests for you to do a death drop here.
Well, I'm sure you do, but let them know, baby, she needs a full booking fee for that, okay? These knees and these backs are reserved for booking fees.
I want to point out to the people in the chat roll is like we have an engineer who came in and painstakingly set up these cameras.
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons why we can't do it.
Right. I'm just looking down. A lot of people want to know is if Drag Race All Stars 3 were to happen, would you be interested in being a contestant on it?
No.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
Why?
No. Because I've done Drag Race, and it was an amazing thing for me, but I'm looking to expand my brand. I don't want to be just a RuPaul's Drag Race girl, and I feel like there are a lot of girls out there who that is their ultimate end-all and be-all, and I feel like it would be very wrong of me to take a spot for one of my sisters who really wants that, who really wants to go on and continue on in the legacy, and I feel like I am continuing on in the legacy by offering that spot to someone else, because I know Ru really wants people who really want to be there and who want to eat it up and sweat, blood, tear, and do all that, and I don't. I learned that reality TV is not where I do my best art making. I do well with rehearsals. I do well with practice. I do well with not being on my toes. So I just know myself now as an artist, and I want that opportunity for like my sister, like Gia Gunn, who I think would be amazing on season 3. So that's who I'm rooting for, is like those girls who really like this. They want that, I guess, redemption, whereas I don't feel like I need that. I feel like if you go to my Instagram, if you follow me on anything, you know that I've been working my ass off and I've been growing. I mean, whether that be in the cannabis industry or in the drag industry. So I don't feel the need to go on TV and like redeem myself. Like, I'm cool. If you want to see me be redeemed, like show up to what I'm doing, because I'm redeemed every day with just being who I am.
Nice.
I like that. I like that.
Well, can't love yourself, honey. Why go love somebody else?
Well, I'm agreeing with everybody in the chat that you had one of the most memorable times on Drag Race, and your entrance is by far my absolute favorite.
It's a very memorable entrance.
What was your initial thoughts of, I guess, the episode that we're going to talk about tonight, episode 2? What was the overall vibe?
Well, first off, I'm a huge fan of the show. Like, I love RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm so happy I'm not on it now, and I get to be a fan again, and I get to watch it. I'm much happier in that seat. But I'm loving the season so far. I think the girls are super dynamic. I think we got great looks, great aesthetics. But the overall vibe of this episode to me was we were getting a little bit more shady. I felt like the ladies were like, the honeymoon is over, and now we're going to like start showing who we are. So I love that. I mean, it's like the boiling water.
I was going to say, I think the quote that summed up the episode was Nina when they were about to do the lip sync, and she's like, oh my God, we're actually here.
Yeah.
It's the first lip sync.
It
was like the reality of it.
I think it was
set
Anya.
in for them, and I felt like it's like
Because
the
it
show's
is
starting now.
that way.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, it was like a musical theater camp. You know,
Yeah.
I was living, and so they're like, okay, and now who do you want to go home?
Yeah.
Day 2, and I was like, wait, what? I just met these people, and now I
Yeah.
gotta be like, that one can go.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, let's get into the
it,
episode.
because now we're running out of time.
Yeah, I know, right? And again, I do apologize for last week. We just weren't micromanaging our minutes. So this is episode 2. I keep thinking it's 3.
Because we've done 3, because we didn't meet the Queen special.
The 14th Queen came in.
Yes,
Cecily
the
and
cuckoo.
Kay.
I
What are your
love-
thoughts? I have my personal feelings about this, but what do you guys think about having her return?
I
Jenny?
love Cynthia. She was, I mean, she left in like 10th place or something. She left
She's like
very
the
early. She was
third
early.
to leave,
Yeah,
I think.
she left very early on, but she won Miss Congeniality, and I think she's the only queen to leave that early, but still win Miss Congeniality. So people want to see her. So there's that, and then also she had cancer, and she beat cancer. So I mean, what better way to celebrate than to be on TV?
Can I jump in and say?
Go for it.
And I'm probably the biggest critic, harshest critic for this show. I love the fact that she's back. She was one of my favorites from last season. I wonder though, because of the whole, her going through cancer and experiencing that, if the producers are trying to milk it for the story.
Are you referring to clickbait?
Kind of.
It's 2017. We don't do that. We're authentic beings.
We didn't run a presidential campaign on clickbait.
Only because that issue was never brought up on the show, and it wasn't brought up
She
until...
didn't have it until after.
I know, and I think, this is why I wonder if they're using her personal experience for...
Well, I think it's pretty safe to say in reality television that that's the case regardless.
I was going to say, I don't think it's fair to single them out. I think that's reality TV.
I think they're, and I think as the season goes, we'll find out why each one is on
they're all
the
going to
show.
have the soft moments.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's reality TV. Jay, what are you
I
happy
think
to see Cynthia back?
I would say it's a marry of the two, where they like the story and we already know her, and she was so popular with fans that why not? If they're gonna bring somebody back, it may as well have been Cynthia.
And I think RuPaul's Drag Race as a show is always trying to come up with some new gimmick to shock the audience. And what better new gimmick to shock the audience than having somebody not from that actual season come back, but from a completely different
Agreed.
season.
But it's been done before.
It has.
We saw that with Shanji. And, I just...
She didn't
Multiple
compete. She just came
times.
out of a box.
No, she came back.
No, she came
back.
back.
Yeah.
She did.
Season 3.
She came
She was
back
in
3
2.
times, and the 3rd time was when she just came out of the
Out of
box for
box,
fun.
right.
Right.
But the
completely
second
She was
time
in
she
season
did
2.
compete.
I completely
And then she
Absolutely.
came back.
So
I'm sorry.
that's why I was on this
But
whole...
it's been a while, and young
It's
kids
been-
have
yeah.
forgotten, and
Yeah. Well, and also too, don't forget that not everybody has been watching since the beginning.
That's
like
what
we
I mean.
have.
There's a
So,
whole new young
yeah, it's a whole
audience that are
different-
watching
I've been
the
watching
show.
and I forgot that.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But I just one thing I wanted to say about Cynthia was, and I don't know if it was just for this episode, but did you notice when she introduced herself in the cheer, she called herself Cuckoo? So is she going by Cuckoo now, or that was just for that?
It's
you
what
think?
Rue. I read some article that Rue has been calling her Cuckoo, so she's just been saying that.
Okay.
I love
that was
it.
interesting.
I
love
think
it.
it's great. And again, I am a fan of hers. I just don't want it to be, well, whatever.
I love that. I love the point you're trying to
Yeah,
make.
thank you.
And I hear you on that.
Uh-huh.
But we live in Hollywood,
That's
and
true.
unfortunately,
That's how it works.
I'm waiting for my leg to break so I could be like, my leg is broken. I'm a dancer. What am I gonna do? My story. I mean, and it sucks. It
Yeah.
sucks that is reality.
It's
it
true.
sucks. I wish
So
it could
true.
be my talent is what is
Yep.
gonna make a good story.
Yep.
But these days, it is about our struggle, and it is about is it the PA, the point of view, the POV? It's about the POV, baby.
Yep. Absolutely.
I love it. So we have a cheer challenge.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did you guys see that it was right after the episode aired right after Bring It On?
Yeah.
Did
I
anybody
love-
catch
I
that?
love
Okay,
that.
so it wasn't just me, right?
I
Okay.
remember seeing it, but I didn't connect the two till you
I
just said it.
connected the two, and I was like, these programmers are lovely.
Exactly.
As much as I love Lisa Kudrow, though, it was weird to me that they didn't bring Kirsten Dunst or somebody like that.
Well, no,
on for
they
this
said
episode.
she was
She's
just
on the
walking
lot,
by,
yeah.
and they brought her in.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a joke.
No, I think that was legit.
Because she didn't come back as a judge,
Yeah,
right?
no.
Yeah, no.
She just came in. That's why Rue was like, "Oh, you can come back anytime."
Yeah, and it was just.
And you stop talking. I'm gonna keep throwing my pen at you.
Well, Lisa Kudrow said that she didn't want to be a part of the judging panel because she doesn't want to like send anybody home or be like talk anybody down.
that.
So she wanted to just be
Yeah.
a part of the show, fulfill her favor to Rue, and then just say hi. And The Comeback is one of my favorite shows. So Lisa Kudrow coming in.
I did not know that that's what Hello, Hello,
I
Hello
didn't
I
was.
didn't
either.
either.
I
had
didn't
an idea.
either.
And I watched the comeback, and I never connected it.
Well, I got it.
I got it. Yeah.
So it was just any capacity I can take Lisa Kudrow, I'll have her.
Yeah.
But I just thought it
Amen.
was just a little random.
It was very random.
Like-
and what bothered me was that they used that as the clip. But this is again what you were talking about.
Right.
We're gonna use a clip of Lisa Kudrow because she stopped by the studio and make it look like this was the whole episode
Right.
about, and she literally just walked in and walked out.
Right.
Genius.
Okay, I'm
watch
done.
Genius.
So the two, the group
get
were
back
they
to
were
it.
split into two.
Yes. I have the team.
Okay.
names if you want me to
Amazon.
read
I
them.
do too.
Okay.
Okay, Mark. Go,
Amazons.
go, Mark.
It was Nina, Shay, Alexis, Aja, Sasha, James, and Charlie.
That
With
was
Nina as the captain.
And Nina was the captain.
that
and
was
then
Rue
Cyn-
Glamazons.
Yes. And then Cynthia's
team.
team was Cynthia, Kimura, Eureka, Farrah, Peppermint, Trinity, and Valentina.
Now here's my thing. I'm all for team.
What's your thing, Mary? What's your thing?
Okay. First of all, Cynthia had just gotten back in the show. I know they spent a couple of days together. But how would she know who to pick for her team? You know,
Well,
you want to pick the strongest team, right?
But
You've
they're
been in this
together
situation, like-
longer than we see.
Right.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because I guarantee you they kept Cynthia away from all them because they were wanting to surprise her. So
Exactly.
no.
Well, but after she came on, there was probably a full day and a half or so between taping when she came back on in that next episode,
But
right?
even
it's
then,
like 2 or 3 days, isn't
if
it?
you
Yeah.
haven't worked with those queens, how do you know? What
and
their
they would
strengths
ice you, and you would be in
Exactly.
separate hotels and stuff. But I mean, come on, let's face it, y'all. Everybody
Yes.
knows who's going on the show. They read the rumors, the blah blah blah. I mean, you have an idea. Plus,
Okay.
didn't she just pick people with a big booty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She went for Team
exactly.
Cuckoo, so I mean,
exactly.
she was choosing off that.
Yeah. So.
Based-
Okay. I will say.
Let Jay speak.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, based off of the teams, did you guys have an initial thought of if it was like which team were you rooting for? Like who you thought was gonna be the better team out of those?
I have to admit that.
You were rooting for Nina's team.
Yeah.
'Cause
I was
you
rooting
love
for
Nina.
Cuckoo.
Only because I just felt as though the way I think we saw more of them in rehearsal or preparing, that I just felt like they worked together as a team. And it wasn't like a lot of drama. And when it looked like it was gonna be some drama, it wasn't as deep as it.
I called it Snoozy Floozy Gate.
That's cute. You're so cute. I feel I don't know why I put undog. I meant underdog. For James. I have to admit, by the end of the episode, I really felt bad for him.
Well,
Me too.
I will say this.
I really felt bad.
I actually wrote down. I feel like this season for some reason I'm getting like they're much more encouraging of each other and being
Right.
genuine about helping each other.
But I said that I think that, and maybe you can speak to this, like after the show's been on for this long and people see people's reactions to certain queens on TV, they're very, very cognizant of how they behave.
Right.
But I
Are you
don't-
suggesting that they might be a little calculated?
Maybe.
No. Who would be calculated on reality TV, Mama?
But I feel like because there's times when they do stuff and you can kind of tell it's contrived.
Sure.
Like Valentina, I think that's Valentina.
Oh, I 100% buy everything. yeah.
Everything she said, and I felt like Alexis and how everybody was like, James, you go first. You pick what you want. I generally felt like they were trying to help him, and it didn't bother me, but it was sad that he took it in a way like that they were putting him down, and because I wanted him to go, no. I think they really want to help you.
Well, but no backup, because when Nina said, I'm cheering for the underdog and I picked James, if that were me, I would be like, really, bitch?
Yeah.
Like, that hurt. I mean, we all have feelings.
But I don't think she meant that. I think she genuinely wanted to do good.
Regardless of
It
her
came off
intentions.
bad, yeah.
Regardless of her intentions. And even Cynthia said her next line was like something,
Sure you
community
did. Yeah,
service or
yeah.
something. It's kind of hurtful.
But I
Even again, intentions aside, it's still
Okay.
hurtful. My phone, that popped up on my phone. Regardless of intentions, it's still hurtful. So,
Okay.
which is my point. And the way you look at me, Mark,
You
it's
know,
hurtful.
is it hurtful?
It's hurtful. And that okay.
Oh, you want to see Hurtful?
I have to admit, I read her after the first episode. I have a little podcast with Gia Gunn called High Tea that comes out every Monday at 4:20.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect.
Where I dish my little tea with Gia about how we feel about the show. But,
Oh, great.
wait, what was the point?
We were talking about James.
That's right. And so, first episode, I was kind of hard. I just felt like the look was just not good for me and blah, 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 blah. And then this episode, I was just like, oh, I feel bad for saying that. Because first off, like, again, you know, they pick these girls strategically. They always pick someone who is going to go home more towards the beginning.
Right.
And, you know, and so it's like, I felt bad for that. And then, like, when she was talking in Untucked about how, like, drag is her armor and she feels comfortable being a character and she can speak through a character, I connected with that. I got that as well. And I totally was like, you know, I feel for her now. Like, because I really do think that she was doing the best she could and in the circumstance. And, I mean, I'm with you a little bit. I think it was hurtful. I felt like even though the girls maybe were trying to help, the way when more than one person is trying to help you, it comes off as you're being ganged up on.
Right.
And you just sometimes feel very attacked. And I totally get it. I really do. Like because
Do you really?
Yeah. The girls swear. I swear to this day they will even still tell you that they were trying to help me too. And I still to this day swear, well, you weren't. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like one of those things until you're in the situation, it's hard to say what really went down.
Yeah, that's true.
The one thing that did endear me to her, and I know this is like fast forwarding, but I thought her exit was so gracious
Yes.
for the way that the way that she was being treated.
Yeah.
You like to jump ahead, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, I just felt it was relevant to the conversation.
I actually even wrote down because I wrote down what she said. She said, "Under all this drag, I'm still a human being."
Oh my
Right.
God, Mark!
And
I
just-
wrote the
and I-
I wrote the
Right.
same
And that really was
quote.
just like, that's it. And I hope that people do
Get that.
I listened.
Yeah. Well, she does something with Peppermint now,
Yeah.
and they're reviewing it. I
okay.
think people have been super supportive of
good.
James
That's
and
awesome.
have been like, we think you're cool and we love your interesting makeup.
Yeah.
Like, we're into it. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. You
Well,
know?
and she wouldn't be on Drag Race if there wasn't something special
Of
about her. And she
course.
obviously has this podcast or YouTube channel that's doing well. So she's
Yeah.
doing something right.
Well, Rue even said her audition tape was funny and
Hilarious,
hilarious,
yeah.
and that I really would like to see it. Andrew, I'm doing a show, so I'll call you back later. So let's move on.
Andrew?
Just called me. He was the
He
Stan.
looks like Stan.
Yeah. We talked about rehearsals. I have to.
That guy was hot.
admit-
I wrote Hot Dom the cheerleader.
Oh, I said. I wrote down Solange. Dom Solange.
Are you sure that's his name?
That's not his name. But he's a two-time
Well, I
champ.
was living for Eureka. She turned me out.
Yeah.
My
I like
big
Eureka.
girl. She did.
And
She
I thought it was
works.
interesting that they all thought she was going to be in the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting.
Right.
The Untucked.
I did
They
too.
You know
talked
what
about
though? I will say, like, watching this whole thing, and you know you're a dancer. This shit is hard to do.
No, this really was a hard challenge. Didn't they say that? This
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
the hardest challenge I've ever had. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? It kind of was. Like,
yeah.
they had to do a pyramid. They had to throw
They had
each
a
other.
toss.
Like, yeah, it was
Like
hard.
I was like, bitches ain't tossing me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even that clip they had of James like tumbling, I'm like, bitch, I can't even tumble if my hands are on the ground and I've like
Did
slowly
it change
moving
like a
into
full
it.
roll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somersault.
Yeah.
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 I was thoroughly.
But they did it with the like do 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 music,
Right.
and I'm like, that is hard. Don't
Yeah.
put the do 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 music on that.
Well,
Well,
they're also trying to set up the
TV.
fact that there
Yeah.
you go.
It was great to see that because some of the queens came in and said like that they were athletic, that they are performers, and to see like Eureka and Shay and I mean Valentina was doing one-armed cartwheels. Like it was awesome to see kind of what these queens put together.
I could do
And
that
I can too.
for the record.
And a split.
I just remember, and I think they pointed it out in Untucked that when they were doing pyramids, and I remember doing this when I was a kid. You do pyramids on your legs,
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
knees, and because I was a heavy kid, I was always on the bottom. Well, the base.
Nothing's changed.
Something.
Right. I
Never
was waiting for the joke.
So Runway.
Don't blame us, girl. Don't bring that shit up if you don't want us to talk about it.
Okay.
So I just thought I agree with everyone. I thought the challenge was fun and it was very challenging.
I do wish that it was a little bit more We're at the actual like when they were talking about it.
Yes.
I wish that it flowed a little bit better because they had like a stunting portion, like pyramid portion, like a cheer, like the roll call. It didn't seem like it flowed right. Like it seemed like they cut a lot between. So I would have liked to see a whole routine put together,
Right.
like what we've seen with Bitch Perfect or the airlines, like where
I
it's
see what you're
all
saying.
a very
Okay.
cohesive.
Yeah.
But
thing.
that isn't how cheer is.
Yeah.
And
And
cheer
it's
is done in
different categories.
sections.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I don't know that exactly, so I probably shouldn't have said that. But I do feel in my heart of hearts that yes, cheer is done in
separate,
sections.
yeah.
What I know about Bring It
there's
On.
like
I say bring it on. There's sections.
right, like
yeah.
there is like a performance where they do a whole routine, but then there is like passes and tumbling, and
Yeah.
like there is different
And
sections.
then they dance, and then you know.
So it could have been maybe what they were trying to touch upon.
Okay. All right.
Or I'm just making all this
I'll
up.
take it.
It's just, again, it's one of, we talk about this every season, is that as far as judging is like, it's kind of hard to judge this because there's so many moving parts, and it's like I can't like. And Valentina and I wrote down, she was in the front and center the whole time.
I wrote the same thing. Oh my God, we're writing these things.
This is weird because I like never agree with the judges on like 95% of what they say. But this was an instance where I do think that Valentina's smile made a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
She turned it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
she totally did.
She
totally did.
But you know this too as a dancer. It's like if you're a dancer and there's a dancer with a like resting bitch face and there's a dancer with a smile, you're going to be looking at the dancer
And
with the
she
smile.
was corny. She
Yeah.
went for not a pretty girl attitude, which I was like, ugh, smart.
Yes.
And then she came out on the runway and come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Ooh, can
That
we
was
talk about
literally-
Runway?
Yes, let's do it.
Literally
We're gonna
gonna
run
go
out of
on
time
my
if we don't,
pants.
so we got to.
We're going to go into
Yeah, because I really want to talk about the runway this time.
Let's do it.
Can we touch the mirror more? Just what happened on the mirror moments. Like Peppermint talked about addressed being beat up by a guy from the basketball team. I was really happy to hear the support. And then Cynthia opened up a little bit about her stage 1 liver cancer. So those were two things that were kind of eye-opening for us to
I had
get
a similar experience, but I wasn't supported.
To Cynthia or Peppermint?
Peppermint.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right. White party.
No, but I do think that
That's a perfect segue into white party.
no, I do think that they have these things not just to like poke at people and be like, haha, watch this clickbait, but people genuinely have felt these things and these things have happened to people.
Right, yeah.
So they're also trying to connect with people.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well, and let's
I'll
hope
tell
that
you guys
there is
later.
some heart behind the TV, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it is TV, it is clickbait, but yes, let's hope that they're trying to really tell these girls' stories and in hopes to touch other people to tell their stories and, you know, whatever it is they're trying to get at.
Right.
Be inspired to live a better life or, you know, be inspired to know that you can get beat up and still get up and be fabulous.
Yeah, because there are kids, you know, in small towns that this is actually happening to them. And if they know
And
that
not in
they're
small
not,
towns.
it's not the only, if they're not the only ones that this is happening to, and it's okay to be who you are. So I unfortunately grown up.
And
I
especially
didn't have that
having
experience.
and especially having someone like Peppermint say this, being the first like openly transgender queen at the beginning of the show.
Did we get that in episode 1?
No,
we
I
hadn't.
don't think so.
I don't think
And
we've
that
gotten
was
that
my
yet.
question.
No.
We haven't gotten that
Yeah,
yet.
I don't think it's been addressed.
It hasn't.
What is this?
The fact that Peppermint is
Trans.
No,
trans.
we have not talked about it yet.
No, it
On
hasn't
the
been
actual
addressed.
show.
On
Yeah.
the show, no.
How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Because we talked about it. What do you think?
About what? Should trans women be allowed to do the show?
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, I have mixed feelings because my best friend Gia Gunn is now just come out
Yes.
as being trans, which congratulations to
Congratulations.
Gia.
Yeah.
We're so proud of.
Uh-huh.
And so now it's so different because before actually having a friend who was trans, I was like, no, it's not fair. They have titties and I don't, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, well, it's an art form, and so it's up to me then to create the titties that look just as real. And like, is it a fair disadvantage and stuff? Sure, but so is the fact that Bianca was older and smarter and wiser and faster.
Yeah.
That was a disadvantage to me, who was a younger queen. It's life. There's always disadvantages in life. And if you're going to look at someone and say, well, that's a disadvantage and stuff, then maybe your drag isn't right, honey.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm at the point now with my drag where it's like, well, I don't feel that way. If I was to compete against a transsexual, fine. It doesn't matter to me. We're both drag artists.
Yeah.
What we're doing is, it doesn't rely on that. It's not about that. So to me, yes, I think it's great. I'm super excited. I wish they would do a whole trans edition and it was all trans women. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And it should be like
I'm pretty sure
trans
it's coming.
both ways. And then I would like for it to be drag kings. And then I would like
Yeah.
for it to be like, I don't know,
Yeah.
twins and midgets and all kinds of things. I feel like, you know, we've gotten so stuck in what we think drag girls should be, and it's like the more I travel, the more I see that the world is full of so many
so
more
much
beautiful,
more.
colorful, exciting characters, and I hope we get to see more of that on TV, and I think also VH1 will help that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a good point. I'm still on the fence, but I like what you just said.
Yeah.
And I remember where your comment was last couple weeks ago.
I'm more on the line of if this is what we're doing, if we're going to openly embrace like saying like trans women compete with male, you know, drag queens, I do think that then you should open it up. Say
Me
drag
too.
kings, other people,
Bio queens.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's all, because then we're saying drag is an art form, and
Right.
it isn't about being a gender
Yeah.
to do it. It's
Right.
about an art form.
Yeah.
And either you got it or you don't.
Yeah.
The chat roll is going crazy over you right now. So
What are they
just-
saying? Are they saying
they're
legs
just saying-
overhead like a pretzel? I told you I was gonna do that, DJ. I know you were waiting for that moment.
Anthony is still. He's like, oh my god.
He's
He's
So-
living. He's feeling
Runway. It was the white party realness.
Yes.
Okay. Last week we had issues with the letter P and the letter T.
I know
and
what they
this
mean
week
now.
I'm bringing Y, M, and N because when they're given a challenge, Runway, I try to think of the theme when they're coming out, and so I was a little confused by a lot of the queens and their choices. Does that make sense?
Can I start off first?
No, you can't.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
Rue didn't wear white for this.
Yeah, that was
runway,
weird.
And I
That
thought
was
that
Well,
was
y'all,
like,
can we just be happy she was in drag?
Exactly.
I'm good with that.
Let's not push
I
it.
agree, but she doesn't always dress the challenge.
But this one's so, like, you wear a white gown and then you're there. Like, that's
And then
all you
Michelle
needed.
was wearing a white outfit, so it was a little confusing because you're like,
That's
well,
probably
Michelle
why-
did the challenge.
That's probably why she didn't wear white.
Yeah.
'cause
Oh, I
it's
guess
too,
so. Yeah, too many
whites.
Too whites.
Okay.
Um,
Somewhere the producer's like, God, they nitpick everything.
Yeah.
I did
I
like
know.
Rue's dress though.
That's what
The
people
green-
say when they listen to us.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's our
I did
job.
like
We're
Rue's-
buzzing.
Yeah. So down the runway, first was Nina.
Love it. I love it. This is gonna sound so weird, but I love it when I see nipples through a dress. So I was like, this is great. It's an outfit where I can
Cut
see
to
your
Jay.
nipples.
Ellis.
In your
What?
nipples.
We were talking about your nipples earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Are mine showing through my dress? Sorry.
It
Wake
wasn't
up,
a dress,
Jay.
It was a bathing suit.
Wake
but
up,
still.
Jay.
I'm looking at my notes.
I thought Nina's was maybe not the most creative, but I definitely thought it was. Here's my thing, and I think this is what you're talking about. White party realness. So this is something you would actually wear to
the
white party.
Yes.
Correct?
But remember, you only get a list of what it is. So you get a list, and it just says white party realness. So you get to interpret
no,
that
I agree.
however you
but
want.
I think that's what you're talking about
Yeah.
is would you
But
wear a
that's
wedding
what
dress?
you think, white party. I would have thought wedding immediately. White party, wedding.
Really?
Yeah,
I
think
immediately
it's
thought
open to not necessarily
interpretation.
Palm Springs white party. I mean, I would totally think, yeah.
But I
Wedding.
could see somebody wearing it to white party because it's a wedding dress. But if I'm thinking, I think this is what you're saying.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking white party, the party.
Yeah. Like
No,
Palm
it's
Springs,
not
right?
necessarily
Yeah.
appropriate. I could see you wearing it, but I don't know that I would give you the award because it's a white party and you should be dressing like a party.
I
thought Nina's looked like something you would wear to white party.
Thank you.
Sure.
I agree.
Sure,
Totally agree.
I see that.
Okay,
Ellis.
I agree
I
with
see
that
that.
point. I really like the forehead piece too. I thought that kind of added something to give her a little bit more beauty. But overall, the look itself, I wanted a little bit more from Nina, as I think she set a really high bar for me in the first episode.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't remember it at all. I'll just be honest.
It was
I
a
don't
white bodysuit with a
with
little
the high knee
like
boots.
fishnet.
high
I
boots
don't
and
remember it
nothing.
at all. And like I
Interesting.
said, I think because episode 1, it was like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
All 3 looks I could tell you right now. So
Yeah,
that's
agreed.
why it was like,
So next was Alexis.
This was disappointing to me because it was the same silhouette as the Oscar dress,
The Golden Globe.
but the Golden Globe dress. But still, I could see like the top of her bralette coming
Yes.
sticking out, and
Yeah.
so that it was just that little thing that bothered me because that Oscar dress was so, or not Oscar,
Golden
Golden
Globe.
Globe dress was
Same
so
thing, same
gorgeous,
difference.
and it was like the same thing but not as nice.
I thought she looked amazing. So I guess I disagree with you. Again, it was one of those. Would you wear it to the white party as a drag queen? Maybe, but dealing in my head, I'm just like, it's not really white party.
I thought it was her aesthetic.
Yes.
So I was okay with it.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
agreed with Jackie where it was kind of the same as the Golden Globe Gaga look, but I did like the mohawk hair, but it was a little bit of a disconnect from the neck up to the waist, or like the neck down.
I can say that. I can agree with that.
don't remember it. Next.
Shea Coulee.
That's Shay.
Okay, I remember this one.
Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah,
This
this is
is-
the outfit I wanted to see her wear from the beginning because, like, you saw her picture and it was such a cool picture, and then the first episode I was like, what happened from your promo to this?
Sure.
And so then this was like back to what that look was from.
If
Sure.
you would have told me that you knew a black guy without an ass, I would have called you a liar. And then she turned around and was like, where the fuck is your ass?
ain't got no booty.
That was my
Well, they
only...
and they called her
And
on
they
it.
called it. And I
They
was like,
called her
where's
on
your
it.
ass, girl?
This is
And,
the-
I don't really give a shit about padding, but it was just noticeable.
Yeah.
But again, it was white party, and I would see her at the white party.
This is
I
like
loved
the,
it.
The
Grace Jones.
Barbarella.
Barbarella, yeah.
Barbarella, yeah.
It was cute, but
and it
give me
fit
some ass.
well. I thought it fit great.
Great.
I don't know why I'm not 100% behind her. I
either.
liked it, but I wasn't like blown away by it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that though. I wasn't blown away, but I do remember it.
Yeah.
So that's a good step
Okay.
above the other two.
Right.
There you
right.
So
Charlie.
love.
Gorgeous.
I loved this one.
Yeah.
This one was really good.
Yeah.
I was super
Yeah.
proud, happy.
Yeah.
I had to pause it because I didn't know where her wig started and the hood
Right.
Yeah.
began, or the wig ended and the hood began. And
I
it was
like
just-
that problem.
It was.
I think
good
that's
problem
cool.
to have.
Yeah.
It was. I thought again. I put maybe if she were to go to a white party. Yeah. I don't know why I'm
I
stuck on
loved
this white
it.
party
It was
thing.
giving
I
me
thought it
like
was-
snow.
Yeah, I think
Queen.
you have to let that go.
She just
Yeah.
she
Have more
looked
fun.
good. Like it just it even took me a minute to go, "Oh, that's Charlie."
Right,
And
me
I
too.
love that.
Me
I love
too.
that.
Do you know
I
what,
thought she was gorgeous.
what made it for me was that red lipstick. It popped through all
Okay,
that white.
I'm so glad you said that because I wrote and I didn't say it when we were talking about Alex. The colored lipsticks bother me. I don't know. I'm an old-fashioned gal.
Yep, get over it. Love it.
I,
Love it. Sorry,
I'm
honey.
saying it with Laganja in the room.
Sorry, honey. That's all I wear.
I just, yeah,
Love the
I
colored
know.
lip.
She's got all the different colors.
Love.
Because Alexis wore white lipstick,
Yeah.
and I was like, you don't have to wear
Yes.
white lipstick just because it's a white
I
party
didn't
challenge.
mind. I actually liked that.
I mean, I would have just white all over my face.
This
like
is
someone
why me
came
and
on me.
Laganja
I love
always
it.
got ready in different rooms.
Right.
Because we don't get along.
Settle down, Queen.
All right, Sasha.
I wrote wore a wig.
I did too.
I wish the hair
It
was
was refreshing
bigger.
to see a wig.
The hair was just too little. Her proportions looked off to me.
I didn't mind.
I liked it.
I didn't mind it because she had a wig, and I was okay with that.
Because the other ones weren't wearing wigs.
Well, no, because she never
She
wear.
never.
Oh, got it.
wig.
I was
I
like,
didn't.
wait,
I
this
didn't really
one's
care for the outfit. Hold on.
Can I suggest something?
No.
If she had, it was separates. If she had
So
like
this is to
pants
her.
on,
Listen, Sasha.
if you had pants on, that's my thing. I think if it was like a pantsuit, it would have looked great, like overall. But the dress just didn't have a right. It looked too.
Looked
it was
weird.
paneled.
Yeah.
But I think pants
agree.
would have made
Ganji?
it better.
It was all right. I'm okay with it.
So
yeah.
she remembers that one.
I do remember her.
the
Wait,
thick
now, wait,
brows.
are you not remembering because you were high? Or are you not?
It's a little bit of both. It's because I was medicated and also
Got
because
it.
I do my viewing party at Club Cobra in North Hollywood.
There you go.
And I was hosting my party so well that I happened to not watch the last part because
Got
I
it.
always change clothes because I perform at 9 p.m. at Club Cobra every Friday.
And
I'm gonna have to start
I
coming.
did write it down.
I'm gonna have to start coming.
Club Cobra.
You gotta come.
I
Because
also-
here's the thing.
I'll have to take an
I
Uber.
don't talk over the show. It's an
Okay.
actual viewing party, meaning
Yeah.
you can come and view the
Okay.
show. And that's why I have my podcast. If you want to hear what I think, go listen to my
I
podcast.
love
But this
that.
is a viewing party. So we do fun trivia in between and I entertain during the commercials and I always perform.
Okay.
But it's really about just watching the show and being with your homies in North Hollywood, which is
Nice.
And
super cool.
literally, well,
Which is
for us,
down-
it's literally
yeah.
down the block.
We can-
Yeah, it's the opposite of Mickey's. Mickey's is we're gonna work out, we're gonna put our tanners on, and then we're gonna go out and be seen.
Right.
NoHo's we're gonna get high and throw our sweats on and go see Ganja perform. Love it.
Awesome.
And your
the way I like to
performances are
watch.
worth going to. I'll
Yeah.
say
Oh,
that.
thank
Your
you.
Hands
performances
down.
are
Next
amazing.
was Aja.
Worth the drive over the hill.
Yes.
Aja.
Aja.
The
What is
wig
Aja?
really bothered me.
Okay, well, at first the wig bothered me, but I'm gonna give her a pass because I think the wig got messed up when she pulled the mask off because I think it messed up
okay.
her hair. So
Okay.
because I was at first like,
Okay.
but then I was like, no, because when I watched it again and she took it off, you could see the hairs pull. So
Oh.
I mean, you should because along that,
I didn't-
but I gave it a pass for that
Okay.
reason.
Pass for me too.
Pass.
I liked it with
She
the
took a
mask.
different edge.
I think she
I
should've
liked
left-
that it was different. I wrote
Yeah,
that it was
I think
different.
she should have left the mask on.
Me too.
Same.
I
Yeah.
would have. I didn't.
I think she
didn't
should
love
loan
it.
I think she
didn't
should
hate
loan it to you.
Damn.
I fucking hate you.
And James
Damn.
is next.
I was proud of her. I didn't hate
James
this.
Vance. Here's the one thing I will say, and I think Ganja, you could agree with this. Of all the outfits that came out, that's probably what I would have worn. LoRayne. If LoRayne was
okay,
on, you know what I
okay,
mean? Like,
yeah, yeah.
that's just so.
Yeah, it's
I
classic.
love like
she looked like
Then I
Marilyn
hate it.
Monroe.
I wouldn't have worn gloves because I don't like gloves, but as soon as she came out, I was like, oh my god, I kind of want to wear that.
I
Yeah.
would like to say that this was the best that she's looked on the show.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I
it
agree
was.
with Michelle. I think her shape is phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I again, not white party, but she was well put together.
Yeah.
And
But it's
Well, it was the white party in Aspen.
yeah,
Okay, there you
exactly,
go.
exactly. And LoRayne would wear that to white party. I definitely if I went
No one
And
because I
accents,
wouldn't be
yeah.
going to dance and do drugs or anything. I would be going to be seen, and that I would definitely wear something like that.
I thought it was her best that she looked. You're right.
Yeah.
Next.
Cynthia, cuckoo.
well, yeah.
She had a fascinator
Lots
and then
of
like
stones, right?
lots of stones,
Yeah.
a big fascinator.
I felt like if they were gonna clock Kimura for color, that they should have said something to her because I felt like there was a lot of color to the
stones.
gems, the stones and
Yeah.
stuff. So I was a little thrown, but I thought she looked beautiful. I don't, and you're gonna disagree with me too. I'm sure on this. And I think it's just because I'm so old.
The short hair.
No boobs, not wearing
Yeah.
boobs.
I
It still
agree.
bothers me.
I do agree.
It still bothers me.
The
so,
boobs. Here's the thing about boobs, though. Like, if you're the
You
dress,
have
I have them, so I have a lot of opinions. On
I have them too. I'm just
As
not
you
wearing
should.
them.
All right. But if the outfit's more kind of like avant-garde, then I can see where
Yep.
like
Yeah.
where you would kind of like gender fuck with not having boobs.
Right.
But the outfit was so traditional, and they're making these like Audrey Hepburn references backstage, and so I was like, why didn't you just wear boobs?
I'm
Yeah.
with you. It has to have a purpose.
Yeah.
If you're gonna wear no tits, it needs to have a purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought the line was super like clean. I thought that's why I didn't mind it not having like a big bust and a big hip. I thought it was
Yeah.
like very slimming. So I thought it was cool.
I see that too.
I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
Okay.
I'm with
Right
you
in
on
the middle.
that.
Farrah, I have to admit, as a boy, she's very attractive. She's very cute. She looks like a
I think she's
female.
cute no matter what.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the most gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love.
every time
So
she's on,
cute.
I'm like, oh, she's
And I'm loving
very
her
attractive.
ditzy personality.
Yes!
And I can tell you, as someone who just FaceTimed with her for the first time like a couple of days ago, it's really real.
It's-
Like, she is just cute and ditzy and sweet and very just pretty. And I live.
Yeah.
I live.
What endeared me to her, I've already liked her since the beginning, but when she hit the light, she was
Yeah,
like,
the boom. When she
Yeah.
hit
And,
the,
yeah. Again,
I
I
just
didn't.
thought that was
Her
cute.
outfit, I didn't love it. Didn't hate it. I was into
I
it.
like
I got-
She had broken mirrors, right?
Yeah.
I thought it looked Vegas, which is her
Yes.
thing. It was definitely something I think you could wear to actually white
White
party
party. Yep. I
and,
can see
and be
that,
fine.
yes.
She's
I even
for
put
me.
wine,
She's
yes.
like Shay. I'm not 100. I can't get behind her yet.
Yeah, she's the middle
And
of the pack
it's
for me.
different, and it's weird too because, especially when I was doing drag and then I would meet the girls after watching the episodes and stuff. They're so different in person,
Yep.
so it's hard because people are like, yeah, you always try, and I'm like, I'm judging it what I see.
Sure.
So I don't know her. I don't know anything about. I'm just not 100% behind her.
Yeah.
She's
Agreed.
middle of the pack for me too right now, but
Yeah.
I like the hip cutout. I thought that was a really good detail.
Loved that
Right.
detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love.
Valentina.
Valentina.
My queen.
Oh my God, she deserved that win. And you know what's funny is you said you would think of a wedding dress first.
I would.
The reason I loved it is because I was like, no one would think of this, but she thought of it, and that's why it was so impressive to me. And it was beautiful.
To me, what I always think of, what is the most dramatic thing you can think of? White gowns. What's a white gown? Wedding
Wedding
dress.
dress.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just like how my mind would kind of come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
And having a drag queen in a wedding dress all done, it was just
And
gorgeous.
she was done.
And it
like,
was spot-
Valentino runway
No.
ready.
Yeah.
The scallops on the
Yeah.
train. I mean,
And I don't care about the nude shoe.
I
It
didn't
did
even know.
not
I mean,
bother
you
me
can't
one
really
bit.
see it.
I didn't even notice it.
I know.
Nobody noticed it.
I those kind of things bother, and I get why you're saying it, Michelle, who I tend to disagree with most of the time anyway. And I guess it's just the part of me from doing drag is like you can't always afford to do it exactly how you want, so you have to just use what you have. That's
would've-
part of
you
what
know
drag
what?
is. So I'm always okay with something like that because you're not going to really see them anyway. It probably took them 20 times to watch that back to try to find that still of that toe poking
yeah.
out. You know what I'm saying?
She could have came out barefoot, and you probably wouldn't even notice.
Exactly.
So I thought it was great.
It was
I thought
so good.
So
the
good.
hair,
And
the
here's the thing.
flowers, the makeup.
To have been 10 months into drag,
Stop.
I mean, you would if she wouldn't have said that in the last episode, I wouldn't have known. And
No.
they tried. Eureka tried to bring it up this episode too, and she ended up winning the challenge.
But it's like, where does that come from? Like, where do you get that talent to
Study.
be able to?
Yeah.
Study.
Well, and there's a lot
She's a
more
great
out there
student.
now for people who start to do drag than there were.
Girl.
Yeah.
I didn't have internet, girl.
And she still doesn't. Next is
Rude.
Trinity. Trinity was next. Okay, so my thing
I
with
loved
Trinity,
it.
I was not Team Trinity at all. Now
What was
is
this one?
It's like the futuristic.
Yeah.
She had
Oh,
the
yeah,
wigs
yeah.
kinda-
Uh-huh.
She's the one that's turning for me. I'm like starting to watch and pay attention because I thought her looks last week were great, and I think she
Won for me last week. I'm sorry.
and
That
she was
Gaga,
great. Yeah,
best look.
She was great, and so this look was, I think, my favorite out of all of them on the runway this week.
Really?
It was my
okay,
favorite.
I don't agree with that, but
I don't care if you.
It was my second favorite, to Valentina.
just stating it for the record in case somebody's listening.
They're all.
She was
listening.
okay. I liked her hair. I liked this hair, the neck up, shoulders up.
People on
I think I'm
iTunes,
with you.
they don't understand what this is.
And I kept looking in the Untucked because Untucked you can see. For whatever reason
details,
on my
yeah.
phone I can see it better. And when she was walking out, I don't know. And
Do
I
you
don't
actually watch Untuck on your phone?
Yes, I do.
I have to send him the link every week.
I know, that's his job. As
I thought it was
Secretary
just
of
a
Drag,
joke.
that is his job.
Jay is the Secretary of Drag.
Love
Appointed
that.
by
Because I felt like she should have been wearing a boot. That bothered me. Just her
What was
strappy
she?
heel
I didn't
bothered
even
me.
notice.
I felt like it should have been a boot. I don't know. That's me. But I like boots.
I didn't understand the things on her thighs. Like what was the purpose
Her
of
legs?
the paneling?
no.
She had like kind of pouches almost
Yeah.
looking. So it didn't
I
didn't look like it
It's
served
the
a purpose.
future. She had to put pens in it or whatever when she's doing her futuristic stuff.
We're
So
wearing
gotta have-
future white party.
Yeah.
Future white party.
Okay.
Total white party
I'm
too,
just gonna because I just noticed that our monitor isn't on. So if Anthony, you're sending us messages on the monitor.
Yeah,
it
we
is
can't.
not.
can't see them.
So just
Just
yell
so
them
you
out.
know.
We're close to close.
Finishing. Kimura was next.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Kimura was next.
Yeah, that was, it was too much.
It was a no for me.
Yeah.
Oh, but I will say this: I'm not bothered that there was some color.
I am.
I am.
Really?
Totally.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Why
I
not?
disagree
Why
with
not
you,
just
Mark.
put a white bra on? Then she would have been fine, Ma.
Yeah.
Like,
And take
why?
the gloves off.
Why
And
did
that's
they
the
it.
do
hat was
that?
enough.
But I did. But
It
it's
wasn't
the things
red. It was black. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't color for a purpose. Like, I know
didn't-
everyone's gonna wear white, so I'm gonna wear a red with white. You know, like it was very just like, and I ran out of white, so this black bra I'll do.
Well,
It was American flag though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Stars
it was,
on it.
It was blue with stars, and then she had gold gloves and gold. So I don't know. It just didn't bother me as much. I think I don't think it was that great overall, but the color isn't what bothered me about it.
What bothered me is her attitude, and I think with that outfit, it just didn't help at all.
Well, and she even
Does that
says
make
like she
sense?
couldn't believe she was in the
Well,
bottom.
she had made that comment earlier about like who was it? Cynthia was putting all the like bedazzled
Yeah.
on, and she was like,
She didn't
"Oh,
wanna do
like
it.
that's bad." Blah blah blah.
I love all that. I
I know.
love all that. I love all
I
that.
know.
Come on, it's TV, Mary. Somebody's gonna be negative.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
thank you, Kimura, for complaining about the rhinestonery. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it, Judy. I loved it.
Last but not least is Eureka.
Oh,
Wait,
you're
no,
saying
peppermint.
Oh, sorry.
Peppermint had the Elvis collar, kind of a mohawk.
Same thing she did last week with the.
I thought it looked a
Yeah.
lot like her Gaga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay, and one more.
Eureka.
I love her boobies. She's got nice big boobies.
Yeah.
I
love her
love
shape.
This was her. I love this look.
Tall hair.
Yeah, I thought she looked great.
So real quick, top two. The winner was Valentina. Yay.
Yeah.
The bottom two was James and
Kimura.
I thought James killed it on the lip sync. I thought. Oh, okay.
You thought James should have stayed?
I thought he won the lip sync.
I think it should have been a double
Okay.
elimination.
I do too.
Okay, so we gotta wrap up. I really feel bad because we gotta do better time management. But real quick, let's close out. Laganja, we'll start with you. Where can we find you?
You can
And
find me
your
Mondays
show.
at the basement of NoHo at 8:30 to 9:30, and also on High Tea Podcast at 4:20 on Mondays. And you can find me anywhere at Laganja Estranja.
Great,
Thank
Jay.
you for joining.
Yeah,
us.
thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having me.
much.
This is so
So-
fun.
Yeah,
come back.
The chat
I will
room is
definitely
going
come
nuts
back.
about you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jay?
good.
Yeah, don't _ be _jealous on Instagram, and Twitter still _jealous.
And real quick, I was gonna say it does help to have you here too, because you can put things in perspective. That,
yeah. Thank
for
you.
those of us that aren't
Well,
on the
good.
show.
I'm so glad I brought a little something.
Yeah,
Yes.
totes.
Mark, go.
You
Fast.
can find me on Instagram and Twitter at LoRayne Love, LoRayne LOVE.
Jackie.
1, 2, 3, Jackie B on all platforms.
And Kenny C. Harrison, or Kenny Cherison.
Kenny Cherison, as Anthony likes to say.
Instagram and Twitter. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Tune in next
you.
week. We'll be back. Laganja again. Thank you for
so
coming
much.
We're gonna have a
in.
field trip to Friday to go see her.
Well,
We should
Yeah,
all go.
come on.
I'm
We should all
down.
go.
Next week.
Maybe Lorraine will go.
Uh-oh. Look out.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Join me on Instagram.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Drag you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.